But I think the thought process behind the Spire is going to be obviously a surprise attack over here, but just the timing, like he's getting turrets up right now, and we'll see later on that that ends up completely negating the use of these Mutalisks, and I don't know, I guess Echo just felt like at this time it would be a good time for Eladimir to go mutas, and so he's preemptively protecting against that. But you see a turret even going down at the expansion, which isn't saturated at all. And like the flight distance with the mutas makes it a good choice in general, but Eladimir is just going to get boned if any more turrets go up here. And the mutas are not going to be a very good investment of money, where, I mean, you pretty much know that Banelings at this point would be a good investment, but I guess it just never entered Eladimir's mind yet, and we'll see later on if it does or doesn't, but as soon as I see the Marine Marauder Ball, I want to get Banelings, so I think that would have been a good response. He's getting his third base up, and I think that's pretty good timing, but he's got 1,300 minerals saved up. I would just pump out another hatchery right here, and he's got creep all the way up to the gold as well. So when you've got 1,200 minerals and your macros slipping a little bit, it's just easy to throw down an extra hatchery or two, and if you lose it, at least it serves the purpose of sending your enemy's force all the way up to the other side of the map. And as a Zerg player, because look at how quickly these speedlings get around the map, you can always do a quick strike. If he's got to send his force up there to take out your expansions, you can always do a quick strike in here and take out some of these SCVs. And because he's got mutas, if he could quick strike and take out turrets and then run away, then he can come in with the mutas later and harass those SCVs. So in the production tab, we've got another missile turret coming up, 2 Vikings. There's some real good air defense coming up for Echo, and I'm not sure if he managed to scout these mutas or if his timing is just amazing, because like I think that's the first time the mutas poke their heads in anywhere, and he's already got a bunch of Vikings and some missile turrets, and it could just be the small amount of ground troops that he's seen, that he's assuming that Eladimir is going to go mutas, and I mean, it's strange that the backside of his base here isn't covered a little bit more, but you know, this is getting mined out, so there's really a diminishing returns to actually putting up turrets here. And what do we got? Eladimir is building up an in-base hatchery, and he hasn't saturated this third expansion at all. I would really like to see that saturated fast, because otherwise later on in the game, if you're getting attacked and things like that, it's easy to forget. Whereas if your third expansion goes up and you send about half of your drones up there to get some of the mining going on there, then if you lose it, you've got more mineral patches at your main, which is better protected. So you can always pump out drones here, but if you lose your expansion, then you have to go rebuild it before you can start mining again. So I think that's another thing he could have done, is when he got that up, he could have sent some drones and started mining his main base a little slower and get some drones up here mining. Got the ventral sacks, which is Overlord speed, and finally Roach speed coming up. And since Roaches have been his main troop selection, these mutas here, he must have been feeling pretty brave sending in a bunch of mutas against a bunch of Vikings, but I don't think I would have done that. Maybe, trying to lure them towards these Hydras, but Yeah, I mean, when I see Vikings with my mutas, I fly the other way. But, hey, good on you, Eladimir. He's a bold man, not afraid. Really good creep expansion here in the early game, but he's got no queens out there heading towards Echo's base with creep anymore. He just kind of got his corner of the map creeped off and sort of forgot about it, and well, I can tell why it is, and it's because he's thinking on a different wavelength here. He's thinking attack with all, he's got his troops all under production. He's got 2 Evo chambers. He's already evolved his missile attacks. So, and yeah, here it is, getting a Doom Drop prepared, and a bunch of empty Overlords, just because the double click, I guess, selected them as well. But hey, maybe they're going to distract some fire. And yeah, the missile turret's up here, so you got to keep flying. He gets this Doom Drop in. Now here's one thing that I noticed when I first watched this. He gets the Doom Drop in and a massive amount of troops into the main base, but the main base is mined out, and the building placement is such that all of his troops end up getting funneled into this middle part here, and the siege tanks and the marauders with stim, they just make mincemeat of his forces. And if it were me, I mean, when I saw that this was mined out, I would have just kept flying over here. There's 3 missile turrets, which he probably would have lost an Overlord with some troops in it. So maybe it isn't the best way to go, but I would have liked to really drop right here, because look at all these SCVs. He doesn't have a third base, and just because all those troops that got thrown away in that attack went down, it puts you in a really, really bad position. And he had so many Overlords as well that just think about what he could have done if he had Banelings. The Overlord Baneling drop on these tanks here, like, look, we got so many. We have 4 Marines, and all these Vikings here they could do some serious damage to the Overlords as well. So, I mean, yeah, so I guess it's tough to prescribe Baneling drops when there's this many Vikings, but, you know, at this